What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Ply-Q. So I haven't seen too much about this particular device online yet. I really enjoy it, I gotta tell you. They sent this along with the Limitless Pulse, which Ply-Rock also manufactures, and I gotta say, this thing is actually really neat. It's actually pretty much the same length as the Limitless Pulse itself, but this one here boasts a 1200 milliamp hour built-in battery, and it's a fully open system, which means you can put your own juice in there, and you can change out that coil. And yeah, for short trips, for little day trips or something like that, this thing is great. This is my go-to kind of errand mod. I take this with me when I'm going to the store and back, just real quick, something like that. This thing goes along with me. So before I get started with this video, I do have to state my intent by saying that I did receive this product for free from the manufacturer for the purpose of doing this video review. However, it has no monetary value to me, which means my opinions on it will remain honest and unbiased, of course, as always. With that being said, I'd like to give a huge shout out and thank you to the people over at Ply-Rock for sending this my way. I really do appreciate the opportunity to take a look at this little device here. So let's start it off with the basics. This thing is available in 5 different colors. You have silver, pearl white, matte black, blue, and red. And I have the matte black version, as you can see here, very nice and stylish. And it's available online for $35, which I think is a great price, especially for a nice little starter kit or portable go anywhere type of device like this here. And with that, if you guys want to grab one for yourself, of course, I will leave links down there in the description below if you want to check one of these out for yourself. But without further ado, let's go down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we have the Ply-Rock-Ply-Q in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging and then we'll talk about what's inside. So, first thing you notice is this big, obvious lithium-ion battery warning. Kind of takes away from the more elegantness of the packaging, but I guess it's necessary. So we have the Ply-Rock logo in a lovely gold emboss there. Let's see, just looking around, there we go, another Ply-Rock logo right there. And on the back, a little kind of shiny metallic sticker, which is going to be a bitch to record, but some basic information on there, blah, 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 you know, the contents of the box, the color indication. It's kind of cool looking, I suppose, but yeah, there you go. So let's just crack this baby open real quick, and we have obviously the device itself. There you go. Put that to one side. And we'll take a look at these accessories here. We got the little accessories box. And let's see what we got. Okay, so we have a spare coil. There you go. And a nice little fabric-y feeling USB cable. I've been seeing these a lot lately. I wonder if you know, they're new or something, but I've been seeing these kind of fabric-coated USB cables a whole heck of a lot. Another one to add to my collection. All right, so that is all that's in the accessories box there. However, my eyes have spotted something at the bottom here, and yeah, if you didn't notice, there was no instruction manuals in there. So there's your instruction manual, ladies and gentlemen. It's right on the interwebs, so you have to actually scan it. Again, you know, if your phone doesn't have a QR reader, or if you don't have a smartphone, you know, God forbid, you're kind of out of luck. So yeah, that kind of sucks. I wish they would just include something simple, you know, paper-wise, just something real quick they can toss in there. I mean, I don't think it would cost that much more than doing it online, but in any case, that's what you get. So here it is, the Ply-Q itself. Let's quickly go over some of these specs about this device here. First and foremost, it holds 2 mils of juice. It is 19 millimeters in diameter there, and 80 millimeters overall in height. It has an integrated 1200 milliamp hour built-in battery. It's an all-in-one design, which means the tank is attached to the battery, so you can't change it or anything like that. It uses one button right there on the front, and it has LED battery light indicators, dual top airflow using the traditional sort of Cyclops eye technique there. So you get 2 air holes on either side, or 1 air hole on both sides. It has leak-proof threaded top fill design, which is very similar to the AIO from Joytech. Spiral structure, wide bore drip tip. I don't really think it's so much wide bore as it is just a normal 510 tip with a little spiral in it, but hey, that's just me. It uses 0.5 ohm atomizers, and you can charge it with this little USB right down there. So pretty simple. I believe this one is also done by, I think it's Asher Dynamics. I feel like they did the actual design for this thing, and Ply-Rock is the manufacturer. That's why they have the logo right there. But I'm just speculating. You know, I don't know who's working for who or whatnot. You fill it using the top fill method, just like this. You unscrew the top cap. This piece comes out, and you just fill up the chamber there, and then just replace your coil. So pretty darn simple, very much similar to the AIO. With that, let's just kind of take a quick look at some of these pieces here. It's a spiral drip tip. There you go. You can kind of see that little spiraliness right there. Nothing really too crazy to talk about in that department. It's clear acrylic. It holds pretty well, you know, average, I would say. You can see the airflow section right there, and when you fully adjust it, there you go. You can turn it, and it does have a little stopper as well, so that's kind of nice. The little diamond shape is the little window to see how much juice you have left in there. It is a bit hard to see, but you do have a max fill line for when you're filling it up. There's your button to turn it on, 5 clicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that, and it'll blink at you. To fire the device, press and hold, pretty simple, self-explanatory. And the little charging thing down there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Really, there's nothing, you know, too special going on here, too crazy or anything like that. But yeah, so that's about it. That's all I had to talk about in this little close-up section here. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. So, starting off today with the pros, my first pro is that it's small, yet powerful for its size. Now, this thing is really, really tiny. I think it's 19 millimeters in diameter by 80 millimeters tall, which is absolutely tiny. I mean, compared to my hands here, I have pretty big hands, but even for that, it is actually really, really small. But it hits a peak of 35 watts, which is pretty darn impressive for a device of this size here. You really wouldn't think by looking at it that this thing could hit 35 watts, and that's kind of why I bring it along on my errands and my short trips and stuff like that, because it is quite, you know, powerful for its size. You know, I get decent vapor production out of it, and I don't have to weigh my pockets down with a bunch of extra stuff, you know, my bigger mods, my Hexome or something like that. Don't have to bring that along, just this little guy right here, and I'm going to be completely satisfied with what I get out of it. My second pro today is that the battery charges really, really quickly. So this thing goes from completely dead to 100% in about 45 minutes, which really isn't bad, especially if you have no other batteries charged and you really need something quick. Even 15 minutes worth of charge on this thing here will last you a few hours. So with that, yeah, the battery's going to last you about half a day, I would say, probably 6 to 8 hours of total usage during the day. This really isn't my main device, so it's kind of hard for me to judge it based on the longevity of the battery life itself, but I feel like those of you that are planning on using this thing as a main device, you're probably going to end up charging it at some point during the day, so make sure you plan around that. And my third pro today is it has adjustable airflow. This is definitely something that the AIO kind of missed the boat on, because their airflow system is not nearly as clean or as smooth as this one here. This is exactly how I wanted the AIO airflow to be. It's just that nice little dual kind of cyclops eye, just like any other tank or dripper or something like that that you might have, and it's fully adjustable as well. It does even have a little stopper in there, which I like, because sometimes if you fiddle around with it or something like that and you want to make sure it's just all the way open without looking at it, you could just crank it all the way to the right here, and it's going to completely open up that airflow. And as far as the total amount of airflow is concerned, yeah, it's pretty darn good. I was quite surprised. I started using this thing as a mouth to lung device, figuring, oh, there's no way this thing could actually produce any vapor. But when I opened it wide open, I just let her rip. I was blown away by how much vapor production I was getting out of this thing. And my fourth and final pro is the price. Yeah, I gotta mention the price because it's only 35 bucks. It's pretty much a no-brainer, because if you're in the market for something small like this, there's, you know, not a whole lot of options that you can choose from. So I feel like the ply-rock-ply-q is definitely on my list as far as great little pocket kind of portable setups. Now moving on to some cons, my first con is that it may not leak, but it floods. Unfortunately, this thing does flood a little bit if you let it sit out for more than about 24 hours. I put this thing down, came back to it a few days later, and when I went to take a rip off of it, it shot juice into my mouth, and it was messy and nasty and gross, and I had to tap it over a paper towel for about a minute or so before I could get it to not spit juice everywhere. Unfortunately, this thing does spit a little bit, and if you're planning on using this thing part-time, then definitely make sure you clean it out before you start using it if you let it sit for, I'd say, more than 24 hours. And my second con today is that the battery is too small. This thing's only 1200 milliamp hours. I don't really feel like that's going to last the average vapor all day long. I feel like you're going to have to charge it somewhere during the day, and for the newbie vapors, they're probably not going to be too happy about that, because I feel like a lot of newbie vapors, they want multiple days worth of battery life, or, you know, at least getting them through a normal work day or something like that. So if you work long hours, or if you can't, charge a device halfway through the day, then the ply-q is definitely not going to be for you. My third con today is that the battery charge indicator lights on the front here, the two little LEDs, are confusing and kind of pointless. My main problem with this kind of complaint here is that it's not the AIO. I really love how Joyetech did their battery indication with just like the LED inside the tank, and it's very kind of, it feels more natural than this two LED thing on the button there. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of that. In certain cases, this thing wins compared to the AIO, and then in certain other cases, the AIO wins, and just so happens that the battery charge indicator is one of those that the AIO takes. And my fourth and final con is it's hard to see the juice level in the tank. Now, the little diamond-shaped window on here, as you saw in the close-ups, is a bit small. I could stand with that being a bit bigger. It doesn't let light all the way across the device, so you can't see past the chimney section, and there's no extra lights inside the tank like the AIO. So with that, it becomes a lot harder to see the actual juice level. As of right now, I really can't tell how much juice I have in there. The juice I'm using is very clear, so in that sense, I can't really tell if that's chimney or if that's the actual bubble from my juice. So with that, yeah, that's another thing that the AIO takes. I don't know. I really wish they could have done something. Even just increasing the size of the little diamond shape right there, I feel like would help a whole bunch. So at the end of the day, would I go out of my way to purchase one of these if I didn't get this one for review? And my answer would be probably not for me. I just feel like there's just too much the AIO got right in comparison to this thing here. The only thing I will say they absolutely nailed is the airflow control. Love it. I absolutely love the airflow control and the amount of airflow. Not to mention, I could take a 5 or 6 second pull off of it and not get a dry hit. I don't know. There's just a couple of things that this thing got really, really right, but a lot of things that the AIO got even better. And I don't know. I feel like the AIO just kind of wins in this category here. But for a newbie, for a starter, for a beginner, for someone that's never owned anything before and wants something, this is a good option for 35 bucks. You can just pick one of these things up and grab a bottle of juice and you're off and vaping. And it does work great as a kind of secondary or just basically kind of carry around mod everywhere you go. If you want something that's going to last a bit longer than a pod system, but not quite as long as, a regular mod or anything like that, then the ply-q is definitely a good option. So I'll give it that. Anyways, if you want to pick one of these up for yourself, make sure you check out the links down there in the description. I'll have them down there for you guys. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget you can click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts all about the ply-q or anything else you guys want to discuss. Don't forget to check out my advocacy and the social media links down there in the description. You can also get yourself a Daily Vape TV t-shirt. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on!